Mason. Hope everybody having a good day. I'm actually going live right now. I'm trying to set up for my podcast on my new platform, and it's supposed to be going live at 9 o'clock. Right now, it is currently 8:52. So I am just getting set up. I'll be live on two platforms today. Tonight I will be covering. I was working on the for my high school in Louisiana, Destrehan High School. Matter of fact, let me get some people in here first before I start talking. Let me get some people in here. Let me do some things, guys. Let me do some things. 1 second. Let's do some things, get some things situated. Trying to get people in here. So just enjoy my background music right now. I'll call myself trying to be early right now. I'll call myself trying to be early right now. So I'm live on the YouTube channel. We get some people in here. So let me copy this. Facebook. So as I was saying, because this is being recorded, I will be going live on two of my platforms on my YouTube channel as well as my podcast. And what I'm currently doing right now is I'm setting up my YouTube channel first. My YouTube channel first. As I was saying, I'm setting up my YouTube channel first, and then I'm gonna go ahead and set up my podcast because the live talk show is going to supposed to start at 9 o'clock with roughly 6 minutes. And what I will be talking about is I create a list with the help of my fight Wildcat teammates. I create a list called, the all-time greatest list, so to speak. Just something we did amongst ourselves. So I finished the offensive side of the ball as well as the special teams. But before I do the defense, I want to go ahead and talk about the offense side of the ball because there's a lot of, how can I put it? There's a lot of people with a lot of different opinions, but it was not my opinion. It's all in fun, but we're gonna get into that. So see, I'm drinking my tea in my graduation cup way back in 1992. So unfortunately, I can't see. Matter of fact, let me see if I get in my chat. So guys, I got the chat room. And I'm about to go ahead and set up the my podcast so I can be on time. And let me find the podcast. Okay, it's the podcast channel. That's not right. Gotta hurry up. I don't like being late. There we go. That's it right there. So, do I go live right now? Nope. Don't want to go live right now. Okay, so where am I? So I have my podcast up. Let me post this link. All right, so I got the YouTube channel up. Let me get back into my Facebook. So, guys, what I'm doing right now, I think if anything, it's mostly my fight Wildcat brothers. I just posted. Let me make sure. Right, let me see. Hold on. Y'all forgive me. I got about 3 minutes. This is the link. Okay, okay. All right. So I'll be starting a podcast, and let me get back to my YouTube. So again, guys, what's going on? This is Damon Mason, and tonight what I will be discussing is the offensive list for the fighting Wildcats, or should I say the former fighting Wildcats. And I don't like saying former fighting Wildcats because once a Wildcat, oh Lord, once a fighting Wildcat, always a fighting Wildcat. I can't believe I said a Wildcat. And I'm just talking. See, I'm going live on my YouTube channel because I don't have no time constraints on here. My podcast, I got about 2 hours left before I have to re up. So I don't want to be too long. And I'm looking for my list so we can go over. And I might even share my screen since I can't find what I'm looking for. Here you go. No, I do not want to record the screen. If anybody's in the chat room, let me see. Let me get back to my podcast. What, man? I'm going live right now, buddy. I'm live right now. What's up? You need what? You send a code to me. No, I didn't get a code, man. You hear me? I didn't get a code. All right, guys. I have 9 o'clock Eastern time. I'm gonna wait a minute or two, because my son is asking me 1,000 questions already. I will be getting started in a second. All right, guys. I have 9:01. I'm just waiting. Hey, I gotta do daddy duties right now. So my big boy asked me a question. I'm trying to give him a chance, and I will be going live in a second. You need me? All right. Okay. He didn't come back downstairs. So I'm just waiting. Another couple more minutes. Make sure everything is set up. All right, let me check some things, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. All right, let me go live now on my podcast. All right, what's going on, everyone? We are officially live on the podcast, DM9 podcast, live on the DM9 Coach Mason's YouTube channel. Matter of fact, I need to go ahead and minimize this so I can see both channels. All right, so good evening to everyone. This is Damon Mason once again going live, coming to you guys live on my YouTube channel, Coach Mason's Film Room, as well as my live radio station, not radio station, but my talk show. I don't know what I'm gonna call that right now. It was Football Chronicles, but I'm gonna talk a whole lot more than just about football. But tonight, oh, now see my 2K friend on there, my little big brother hit me up at the wrong time. Mr. Tall, Devron is yes, D. Once I finish this, if I got time, I will get on and play some 2K. But thank you for chiming in, brother. Thank you for chiming in. All right, so as I was saying, guys, I am going live. I'm going live on both of my platforms, and what I want to do, this is for the Fighting Wildcats, even though it is live. Let me make sure all my Fighting Wildcat brothers who are on Facebook know I am live now. On YouTube and all right, so and I got this little background music playing on the YouTube channel. So let me go ahead and see if I can load this down just a little bit more. So tonight, the reason for tonight's call is to address, discuss, or even talk about the project that myself, along with the help of Hank Leeboyd, Stephen Murdoch, and Mike Robbins, as well as Russell Bickham. What those gentlemen was helping me do, I had the idea of talking about my Fighting Wildcats, my high school that I graduated from back in Bethlehem, Louisiana, River Parishes of St. Charles Parish. Now, as much as we've been talking back and forth in the chat among the Fighting Wildcats, anybody else who's not a Fighting Wildcats, thank you guys for chiming in. Matter of fact, I apologize. I wanted to minimize this so I can see my YouTube as well as my podcast. I should have did it on a different angle. I can't see that. I apologize, guys. What I should have did had two different browsers open, but I didn't do that. Or I didn't do it right. So let's see if I can do it like this. Oh, okay. I think I might have it. Lose the situation. Nope, not right there. So let's go right here. All right. Okay, that is. So I have my YouTube up. But I don't want to see the YouTube. I want to see if people get in. So no, let me get up in here. Let me get up here. No, let me not do that. Let me get back to YouTube. So guys, I apologize. I didn't calculate that. And at the same time, this gives people a chance to get up in here. But what I'm going to address, what I wanted to address tonight, Fighting Wildcat all teams list. You know, it sounds like a crazy name, but it's really, should say the all fighting Wildcat team. You know, and the reason why I created this list, guys, as I shared with Hank, being a fighting Wildcat, I really am sick and tired of all these reporters, even though they're doing their job and they do. I'm not trying to put nobody down, but as a fighting Wildcat who takes his alma mater and our mascot and our name seriously. And the reason why I take it so seriously, guys, one, I was not supposed to go to that high school. I transferred. Secondly, I had to learn how to become a fighting Wildcat. I had to earn the respect of everyone there. And last and definitely not least, for 4 years, I bust my butt and did everything I could to be the best fighting Wildcat. So it's like a fraternity, a brotherhood, or even an armed service. Even though that's a little bit extreme, but if you was not there and didn't experience what I've experienced and blessed because of it, I gave my all to that program on that practice field, on that game field, in that weight room. So I refuse to let anyone disrespect the high school that I graduated from. It's not that serious, but it is that serious. So anyway, I'm tired of hearing about people who are not fighting Wildcats talk about the fighting Wildcats. So I decided to do my own thing. Like I was always taught, if you don't like something, then do something about it. Do something positive about it. So I reached out to a few of my fighting Wildcat brothers, one older, one younger, and we decided to talk about it. And like I said, Russell Bickham and and Mike Robbins chimed in, and we got together and we started doing something which has taken a life of its own. So again, I don't want to be on here too long, but as I said, I first wanted to address this so I can move on with the defense side of the ball. Now, I do see 4 individuals watching me live on YouTube. So again, guys, if you don't mind, whoever you are, if you don't mind, in the chat, just type who you are, type your name, and whatnot. But I'm going to be going back and forth because it's not really working. I didn't take into consideration how to set it up properly so I can see both sides. And so, for the sake of time, I don't want to spend too much time on here. So I'm gonna go back and forth from my YouTube to my iPad to the podcast so I can see who's in here, if anyone's in here, if anyone has decided to call in. And that's probably the biggest thing not the biggest thing, but one of the factors I like about this podcast, it gives people the chance to call in if they want to. If anybody, especially a fight wildcat, if anybody wants to call in and chime in on what's being discussed. So, without further ado, so guys, what I did was I reached out to all my fighting wildcat brothers. All right, I reached out to as many of my fighting wildcat brothers as I could, put it that way, on social media, and I gave them and I created a chat, a group chat. And basically what I did was I asked every individual who I had invited, and it wasn't everybody, but as many as I could. I asked them to create their own nomination list. Whatever who you play with, whoever you know about, just create a list, right? And we completed the offense side of the ball. And then once everybody submitted their list of nominations, I tallied them up. I added them all up, and I'm turning my page right now, which I want to show you guys that for no proof. But I took down all the votes, and what I will discuss briefly, because I am the only host, and one of the things about being the fight wildcat that I am, not being from St. Charles Parish, as I said, I had to learn how to become a fight wildcat because I transferred. A lot of the fight wildcats I can't speak on. All right, I cannot speak on. So we're gonna start with the offense side of the ball. Now, I thought about mentioning all the guys who were nominated, but again, for the sake of time, I won't do that. But the top quarterbacks, matter of fact, I'm gonna say the top three. It might be more than three, but for each position, I'm gonna say the top three. And maybe if I go to my cell phone, I can look at the list to find out exactly who's on it. You know what? I'll do that as well. Again, if I get someone who called in, we might be able to discuss a little bit more in depth. But if not, I'm just gonna speak on what I know, keep it moving. Because the biggest thing was I just want to talk about it and move on to the defense side of the ball. So let me get to my all right. All right, so here we go, the quarterback position. Is this the right list? I'm sorry, let me get to the picture. Tripping. Matter of fact, I'm gonna use my notebook. So the quarterback position, the top quarterback. Am I looking at this right? Yep, the top quarterback that was nominated. Well, amongst the group that was nominated, if I'm not mistaken, it was Jordan Jefferson. All right. Also nominated was Darren Smith, DeMarco Hutchinson, Chandler Massey. I remember the four of them. Now, as much as I remember, Jordan Jefferson, who is the older brother of Justin Jefferson, and I know they had another brother. I can't remember his name. He's a defensive back. I think his name is Ricky Jefferson. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But Jordan Jefferson was the first Jefferson to go to LSU, and the young man, if I'm not mistaken, again, I can be wrong. I can be wrong. The young man won 2 state championships. I know he won one. If he didn't win two, I apologize. But the era that he played in, he was a phenomenal athlete. Now, who I see I got Rudy Sanchez in here. It's my little brother right there. Garrett, that's Garrett Matter, right? Good. I'm glad you're in here. Now I know there's some other individuals who want to come in who begged me to not let them know. He won just thank you. So Jordan Jefferson, he's a top quarterback, but he only won 1 state championship with Destrehan High School. I'll fight Wildcats. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Now, and the unique thing about the votes, guys, it was all in fun. It was all in fun. It was entertaining. But as I shared with many individuals, I was prepared for a lot of, I don't want to say negativity, but a lot of feedback, positive or negative. I know individuals gonna have different way of thinking, but again, the main purpose was just for fun and something that we can do as Fighting Wildcats. Because my biggest thing was for as much talent as we had and still have with the Fighting Wildcats, and these Fighting Wildcats right now in the past couple of years, they're still young, so they got time to be considered in this list. But I felt like it was important for us to tell our own story, for us Fighting Wildcats to pick our own teams, those who was willing to participate. Now, I didn't get a lot of participation. I did, but I didn't. But the reason why I wanted to move forward because I wanted people to see that look, I'm serious about this. This is something serious. This is something. It was a serious project of mine, and a lot of work, a lot of effort. But I see the growth. I see the potential for future things that's going to be coming very very soon. So anyway, Jordan Jefferson, congratulations, young man. The young man had an outstanding career. I think he had an outstanding career at LSU. Even with that being said, this has nothing. Our list has nothing to do with what was done for those who went to college. And I told one of my big brothers, this list has nothing to do with what you did in junior high. And you was actually this list. This is more of a this is a list for the team, for the players, almost like a popularity thing. If you got nominated, okay, one was getting nominated, right? Bottom line, someone had to nominate you. And then once your name, then once the votes were added up, the top people who was nominated multiple times, they made the nomination list, and then we just let everybody vote for them. So really, it was about popularity. This is for the players. Now I can say openly, now that I've done the players for offense, and when I complete defense, the next one I'm gonna do is gonna be a fan favorite. I know maybe I shouldn't have said it too early. That's why I think there was somebody. I think it was Garrett. There was somebody I say, hey, hold on to your list because I have something coming. That's why I keep telling everybody, fans and fighting Wildcats alike, this is only the beginning. But like anything else in this world, you got to get started. You can't keep waiting. You know, everybody got their ideas, but nobody took the time and opportunity to put it into motion. And I'm not knocking anybody for that because maybe it wasn't meant for them. I know it was meant for me to do it because that's why I'm doing it. And I'm having fun doing that. And it's all in love. Because like I said, we all fighting Wildcats. And I'm getting a lot of phone calls. Even had a phone call from my head coach, Coach Chipper Simon. So anyway, Jordan Jefferson. Jordan Jefferson gets the note. He has the most votes, right? Second behind Jordan Jefferson was DeMarco Hutchinson, who also had an outstanding career in high school for his size. I would say his size, but I know I'm gonna say it wrong. But the young man was hella short, but he was hella athletic. So anyway, Jordan Jefferson followed by DeMarco Hutchinson. The next position is the running back position. And now that I said all that doing this the quarterback, I don't plan on being that long for the rest of these positions. So give me a second. Let me check on the podcast, see if anybody want to chime in. All right. Again, if anybody wants to call in, got something to say, would like to say something, go to the podcast. Go to the podcast, and there's a call in. But anyway, the running back position. The top running back for the Fighting Wildcats, all time, I guess you could say all time running backs for the Fighting Wildcats, Rondell Millie. Now, I'm not surprised at that because I watched the young man play. All right, Rondell Millie was an outstanding running back for the Fighting Wildcats. And I had the privilege of watching him blossom from a freshman to a sophomore. In his junior and senior year, he just exploded. So Rondell Millie was also a LSU great running back. Rondell is followed, as I look at my list, it was a tie. It was a tie for second place between Gerwin Diggs and Russell Bickham. And I take pride in telling people, I nominated Rondell, I nominated Gerwin Diggs, and I don't think I nominated Bickham, so it was just another. I nominated him, but there was someone else who also nominated Bickham, so that's how the vote went. But it was a tie for second place between Gerwin Diggs and Russell Bickham. But Rondell Millie was voted as, I don't want to say the best, but the top running back. That is the top running back for the Fighting Wildcats. The next position is the wide receiver position. Right, the next is the wide receiver. So the top wide receiver for the Fighting Wildcats, based on votes, went to Frederick, or D. Fred Smith, as some of the people called him when he was in high school. I had the privilege of coaching Fred 2 years, and consider the young man who's now a young man like a little brother. Back then he was I don't know, he was a player. You know things change when kids graduate, even when they get out of college. But I'm proud to say that I know this young man on a personal level, and we talked on the phone, and I shared something with Fred that I've often shared with him and several other guys who played with Fred. Fred Smith and a whole bunch of those Fighting Wildcats, those were my first years into high school coaching. And as I told them, Fred Smith, Craig Eugene, as we call Joe Beanie, Darius Vanette, Jamarcus Smith, Darren Brown, and so many. I mean, they got a whole list. DeMarco Hutchinson was quarterback. The stuff those kids was doing brought tears to my eyes when I watched them on Friday night. Watching them got me excited to go back and play professional football because I had started to see the BS. Y'all know what BS man, right? Right? I started to see the BS that had crept into the Arena Football League, which shouldn't be a surprise because when you're dealing with money, there's always going to be people as much money as they're willing to give you. At some point in time, they're not going to give you that money. So I started seeing the business side take away the pure love of playing football. So I can only imagine the kind of stuff that goes on in the NFL. So when I got into high school coaching that first year, I had started to see the BS that crept into the business side of being a professional athlete. But being around high school football kids who just love to play the game the way we used to love to play it as kids. Kids like Fred Smith with their size, Craig Eugene, Joe Beanie, DeMarco Hutchinson, the speed that Darius Vanette played with DeMarco Smith, the physicality of Darren Brown, Ozzy, I don't know what Ozzy's last name is, but so many of them, man. That's my little short story about that. So, Fred Smith, the top receiver for the Fight Wildcats, followed by was a two-way tie with Justin Jefferson and Damaris Johnson. Now, I remember talking to Justin Jefferson one year when I went to go visit. By this time, his brother had already made it to LSU and was doing this big thing. Justin was like any other kid, humble kid, good athlete, good talent. The people like Damaris Johnson, and there's another young man that I met, had the opportunity to chat with her today, who played in that era with Damaris Johnson, I think. And Greg, if you're still there, did Tim Moulton, did he play with Damaris Johnson? If anybody knew that, let me know in the chat. But my point is, I think Damaris was also a part of one or two of those state championship teams. But see, while I was doing my thing on a professional level, I was not around to watch a lot of the Fighting Wildcats. I hadn't heard about Justin Jefferson. I hadn't Jordan Jefferson. And that man, as Tim Moulton was telling me, that team was so loaded. And so when he told me about all these kids, and I'm like, man, Jordan Jefferson was the only kid I remember meeting because I remember coming home and I remember how tall he was. Okay, thank you, Greg. So Tim, so there it is. Tim Moulton, Damaris Johnson, and if I'm not mistaken, they got a young man by the name of Jericho Nelson, who unfortunately didn't make any of the nomination list, but his name will be talked about, if not tonight, soon, because that's one of the reasons why we're doing this. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. Because none of these young men, none of these Fighting Wildcats should be forgotten. I don't care how long ago it was. Right? Being nominated, being voted, don't take nothing away from none of these players' game. If anything, it gives them an opportunity to have their name resurfaced. It gives them an opportunity, it gives people opportunity to relive the excitement. I mean, just chat with Tim Moulton. He sent me an article to read, and I'm reading the article, and I can visualize it. He was like, big brother, I wish you was around to see this in action. But being a football guy that I am, and just reading the article, I can imagine how potent and dominant this team was. So I'm looking forward to speaking to these young men. Tim Moulton, Damaris Johnson, Jericho Nelson. Anyway, again, guys, I just want to make sure I get all this out. And let me check again on the podcast, see if anybody calling. So I got some people in here. Good. I see some people listening. I see my one-time host, Hank Lee Boy. I know Hank listening. I know you're on call, brother, so I'm glad you're able to chime in. So what I'm doing, guys, since y'all who just got in, I'm going back and forth on the podcast to see if anybody tried to get in, anybody called in. And for people like Greg, who is chatting with me and giving me up information on the YouTube chat. So let me get back to YouTube. So, all right, now let's go to the offensive line position. Now, that's a serious position, and I think this is the opportune time for me to say that in every position, the reason why I was so deep with the votes in the nomination list, which of course you guys can't see it. The Fighting Wildcats at one time was a wing T team for years. Even before the wing T, they was running the football. All right, Hank, shout out to my head coach, Coach Simon, Coach Chipper Simon, gave me a call today and gave me a lot of answers, Hank, to questions that I had and never had those answers to. The same as a shout out to our big brother Elvin. I forgot his name already. Elvin Robertson. All right, Big L. They say played offensive line was a beast, as well as Donnie Nash. Donnie, Coach Simon talked well about you as well. But so with that being said, I agree with everyone who made the statement that, you know what, for the different, not all the different eras, for all the different all the amount of talent we had in different eras, even with the different game plans, meaning the style of play, the wing T, as well as the spread that we've been having now for the past X amount of years. I kept all that into consideration. So, and for offensive line, it's a lot of people didn't vote, but I don't know if a lot of people didn't take it serious or not. But still, guys, it's a team thing, and now people see how serious we are, and still, it don't take nothing away from nobody. You know, a lot of guys were not nominated simply because they didn't know. Of course, I didn't get everyone. Anyway, offensive line. I think I might have to go to my picture on this one. I didn't write the number down for some reason. Offensive line. Gotta get to the website. I apologize. So what we had. There we go. Offensive lineman. The number one offensive lineman selected by the players of the Fighting Wildcats goes to Chris Bullock. All right, Chris Bullock. And based on the picture that I have for Chris ended up going play collegiate ball at Tulane, and it seems like he had an opportunity to play in the NFL. Trial, made the team, it don't matter, but he had that opportunity. Because I'm looking at him with the jersey on, with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Chris Bullock was selected, had the most votes, offensive lineman, followed closely by what is this young man's name? Parquet. What is his name? Jeremy Parquet. I see, Jeremy Parquet. Now, Jeremy, I do know Jeremy played with Pittsburgh, and Jeremy was blessed with the opportunity to win a Super Bowl ring, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I'm not sure what college Jeremy went to. I want to say Southern Miss. Anybody out there? Was it Southern Miss that Jeremy Parquet went to? But still in all, Felton Parquet. I'm sorry, no, Felton. Something I'm thinking about his big brother or cousin, who was a fullback, was a great. But Chris Bullock has the most vote offensive line, and Jeremy Parquet followed closely behind. Thank you. My boy Greg on it, man. I appreciate that, Greg. Southern Miss. So Chris Bullock was listed as number one, and Jeremy Parquet is number two. And I want to say it was a four-way tie. Lord, not four-way. Yeah, a four-way tie for third place. And that is Ashton Duke, Howard Johnson, that we know as Hojo, David Brewer, and Trevor Tate. Now, David Brewer and Trevor Tate, and I think even not Hojo, but David Brewer and Trevor Tate played in that wing T era. These guys were not big, physical, but not all that big. But when you play the wing T, it's not about how big you are. It's about having great heart, good agility, and a great coach. And we had a great coach because I was our head coach. He coached the offensive line. And them guys were known as Mudcats. And they love and live to get dirty and nasty. Some was bigger, some might have been better, but yet again, a list by the players, for the players, The players nominated them. Majority of the players voted on them. And these four gentlemen was a four-way tie for third place. All right. All right, let me check the podcast. Okay, I see Hank in there. Let me see. All right, so I got people chatting in both groups. All right, I see Josh Victoria. Josh, what's going on, young man? Now, Josh is a young man, even though we're not doing defense right now. As I said, for you guys who just getting on, this is what it's all about, man. If someone is missed, guys, this right here is opportunity to get people out there at the appropriate time. And we're doing strictly offense tonight, so I can focus on defense. I see someone say some of Jericho. Jericho will be on the athlete list. And I plan on doing one because there's a lot of athletes, But with that being said, there are people like Jason Smuggers. I have him listed as an athlete because he played. He was one of the few in my era that went both ways as a linebacker, tight end. Lamos Haynes, free safety receiver. And they had a couple others. Even myself, towards the end of my junior year and some of my senior year when I went offense full time. But I plan on doing that, and there's a lot of things I want to do. Josh, I'm good, young man, and I'm glad you chimed in, man. And I read up on your stats. Again, we're not doing defense right now, but since you took the opportunity to get on here, Josh Victoria had a outstanding high school career, and I guess you could say I was sad to find out that he broke he said he broke the record. And I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing that you broke it because I had 11 interceptions. I think Byron Land had maybe 13. I had 11 my sophomore year. That same year Byron had 13. And if I'm not mistaken, you had 14. So yes, you broke that record. That's the only one I knew whoever had the most. So hey man, then you had the opportunity that I never had, on professional level. And then you followed in my footsteps when you took a opportunity to play in the Arena Football League for many years. So anyway, this is not my defense, but still, I want to take the opportunity to shoot you out, give you a shout out, Josh Victoria, for getting on here, man. Especially with the fact knowing that I invited you to the group late because a lot of guys like Josh Victoria and Craig Schexnayder, several other individuals who didn't really have a good opportunity to vote or even nominate themselves so other people can vote on them. But definitely, Josh Victoria is a name, has a story to tell, and he will get the opportunity to share because he had a great career in high school. So again, appreciate that, young brother. And of course, my boy Greg on both streams talking. And again, my normal co-host who is on call tonight, but he's chiming in, Hank Lee Boy. All right, so let me get back to this YouTube, see if I'm missing anything. So what I'm gonna do, I'm on YouTube. I got 4 people watching on YouTube, so thank you guys. And I'm gonna stay on the podcast just in case I see anybody else new come in here. All right, my man Greg laughing at me. So next, we got offensive line. So let's go to the tight end. Tight ends. Now, I already mentioned, Jason Smothers. I mean, I had the benefit of playing with Jason Smothers, who we call Choke, and the guy was just a phenomenal athlete. We called him Baby Shaq because he kind of resembled Shaq, but you knew when he got in the game he was gonna make a player, regardless if it was offensive or defense. And to come in from a linebacker position to go to tight end. I mean, that my favorite was that. I don't know what it's called. Hank is a former quarterback. That cross, a tight end under. I mean, he killed teams with that at least once a week. And I don't see how they didn't expect that. But Jason Smothers is listed, received the most votes for the top tight end for the Fighting Wildcats, followed closely behind. Now again, let me make sure I got this right. Eric Paquette. Now it's based. Now I'm gonna tell you this about Eric now. And I'm saying this because I played with Eric. Eric was a fullback, and when they moved me to fullback my senior year, Eric became our starting tight end. Him and Nick Mitchell, and both of those guys did a phenomenal job. Because I almost rushed for 1,000 yards, and James Harris almost had 1,000 yards. So that our tight end is a very integral part of our wing T offense. All right. So again, this is nothing about stats. Eric Paquette received a lot of votes, and he came out in second place for the second top tight end. Now, there was a three-way tie for third place. Somebody was saying something in the chat. Let me see if I can get to it. Oh, that Josh. Okay, Josh said he had 13 interceptions. Antonio had 14. Okay, cool. Hey, and like I said, we're gonna talk about that. And that's why I like this here. That's why I like this, man. It's so much information that people don't know, even me, don't know and need to know, man. And we all fighting Wildcats, bro. And that's why I love it. I love it. I love it. And I promise you, man, you gonna out. We gonna talk. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk because that's information. I mean, I don't know who Antonio Parco is. My first time hearing his name is doing this whole process. So anyway, Eric Paquette. Eric Paquette did an awesome job. Him and Nick Mitchell, my senior year, they graduated with me. So Eric was in second place. In third place is a three-way tie. Ryan Whitfield, David Green, and Greg Baker. Now, Greg Baker was a converted defensive end. Well, Greg Baker was a tight end first and became a phenomenal defensive end, like a Richard Dent for us, his senior year. In college, he ended up playing tight end once again, but he did an awesome job. I remember Ryan Whitfield. I remember the name. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Ryan did an awesome job in that wing T system, if I'm not mistaken. Someone let me know if I'm mistaken. Ryan Whitfield played in that wing T era. Now, and if he did, if I remember right, or remember hearing right, Ryan, well, I'm sorry, I was reading some on YouTube. I went from my podcast to YouTube. Let me read what Greg said. Well, Ryan was one of Chandler Mashay's big targets. All right, so if I remember correctly, Ryan had a lot of speed. A lot of speed. Now, someone said Tron Smith. I remember the name, and he was nominated. And that's again, unfortunately he was nominated. But if a guy like that, just like you're mentioning his name, Greg, is out there now. So when I do defense, or even when we talk about just have a show that's strictly for people that we miss, because this was kind of rushed. I wanted to do it, and I didn't want to prolong it. I want to cover. You know what I'm saying? Now that it's out there. What we got and what we don't have now is out there. That you know what, I can sit there and say, well, you know what, I don't know. Like me and Tim Moulton talked and say we chatted today, and him and I agreed that we're gonna sit down and talk strictly about that championship era. So I'm gonna cover those two championship teams and cover those players. I want to talk to Josh Victoria. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to say. Because it's out there now, it gives me a chance to reach out like Elvin Robinson. I told Elvin Robinson and Danny Nash, I want to talk to them. Hank Leboy got some stud uncles who play. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I want to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Even Coach Simon, believe it or not, Coach Simon called me today, early this morning, and he said, you know what? He said, Mace, what you want, what you might want to do, you can get me, Coach Rebo, Rover Show, Coach Martin, all the former head coaches on the show and talk about the history of the Fighting Wildcats. He said, not the players. We're not going to talk about players, but we'll talk about the Fighting Wildcats, the history of the Fighting Wildcats. I mean, man, the possibilities are there. Guys, trust me, that's only the beginning of what I'm going to do. So since I'm going live, I'm going to say this here. Get ready, because it's been done once before, and it's been done often, amongst each other, but get ready, because I will compare all the greats from each high school in River Parish to the high school, to the greats from our Fighting Wildcats. See, I'm taking care of home first. Then I'm gonna compare everybody to our Fighting Wildcats. And it's gonna be fun. Like I said, this stuff that we do anyway. When we go to games and sit among each other, we reminisce, we talk about this. It's all that fun. But now, my goal is to take it to a whole other level and include. So when scouts see and listen, because we all know how social media works. Man, they got all this talent that come from the river parishes. Destrehan, Hinesville, East St. John, St. Charles, Lutcher, Riverside, West St. John, St. James. Yes. Yes. If you don't know by now, you need to know. Like somebody said the other day, hey man, we should be represented highly in the NFL with talent that comes out of the river parish alone. I ain't knocking all these parishes. Damn all these parishes and Jefferson Parish. I know the talent that comes right out of the river parish. Again, guys, it's only the beginning. So let me get back focused. All right, let me read some comments. Ray said we need some highlights from some of these guys. That'll be great. And what I can do, I can share my screen. And honestly, what I did was when I for each list, if y'all seen the link, when I say click the link, I add my website blog. All right, and what I did was I put their picture, and I went on YouTube. I try to find a picture. I try to find a highlights, and preferably I try to find a picture in the fighting Wildcat uniform. Then I try to find a highlight of them in high school. Some people like Fred Smith. Actually, Fred sent me his highlights. I don't think I downloaded it yet, but I was able to find even like Darren Smith. I think I found a picture of Darren Smith in this Tulane uniform. Oh, that was for the all-time greats. Jordan Jefferson was in his Tulane, not LSU and LSU and Destrehan uniform. But yes, Greg, I look for that just so people can see, man. Now, I have all the tapes from the wing tee era from 1988. 1988 up until I guess you could say my senior year, which was my senior season, which was 1991. And don't nobody ask for no tape because I'm not sending nobody no tape. I can try to make you a copy, but my wife been saying we're gonna buy one of those converters from VHS to DVDs, but don't nobody send me extra no wing tee tape from 1988 to 1991. I clean shop. When Coach Robichaud was head coach, and they said they went to the spread. I said, "Well, Coach, what y'all doing all those old wing tee tapes?" Said nothing. I said, "I take them." So D Mason got them, and I'm not letting none of them out. All right, let me read some more articles. I mean, some more statements. All right, highlights. I was at every game those 2 undefeated years. Okay, didn't miss a game. Good. So I definitely want you to chime in when I talk to Tim Moulton and Fred at Tulane, right? Oh, thank you. You can't see your post? Well, hold up. I see Hank texting me. So let me get back on the podcast, Hank. All right. So what I was doing just now, guys, I was reading comments on the YouTube. So now I'm gonna get back to the podcast. All right. Let me read some comments. All right. So after my man Josh said he had 13 interceptions. So Josh, me and you tied then, unless you broke 13. No, I lied. I had 11. That's right. I had 11. Byron Land had 13. So yeah, you broke me anyway. All right. So Hank, yes. Tron. Okay. So Hank was saying Tron was that running back. Okay. Like I said, I remember the name. And Hank was commenting on Ryan Whitfield. All right. Ryan Whitfield had good hands. Okay. So he did play. Hey, that was in your era, right, Hank? If you're not mistaken. And that's a great idea with the coaches. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Josh. Right. Hey, that was Coach Simon's idea, man. Believe it or not, that was Coach Simon's idea. So I was excited about that. They been sleeping. Ooh, that's it. They've been sleeping on us. That's still you, Greg, or that's somebody else? I'm on the podcast reading comments. Somebody who said that. Now, what you guys can do, if you don't mind, on the podcast, Garrett. Okay, if you can, guys, if you don't mind, when either right now or another time, go edit your profile so you can have your name there. If you want to put a picture there, that's cool. But at least put your name so I definitely know who you are. You ain't gotta do it right now, or you ain't gotta do it at all. But just a suggestion. But I still thank you guys for chiming in. All right, so let me get back to the list. I'm almost finished, so I'm gonna get back to YouTube this time. And Gary, thank you once again, man. We got back on YouTube. We have 5 guys, 5 individuals watching live. So again, tight end. Tight end was Jason Smothers, followed by I know I already said tight end because I'm on O line. So that was Jason Smothers at tight end. Eric Paquette was in second, and there was a 3-way tie for fourth, which was Ryan Whitfield, David Green, and Greg Baker. Offensive line. All right, this offensive line. I apologize. Who am I missing? I did running backs, right? No, I didn't do running backs. All right, I need help. Anybody? Did I do running backs? Yes, I did running backs. I said Rondell Millie. That's right, Rondell Millie, Russell Bickham, and Duran Diggs was tied for second. But I didn't say what was third. Okay, let me say that. Okay. Rondell Millie was first. Was the top running back. Russell Bickham and Duran Diggs was tied for third. Tied for second. All right. Robbins. Is that Tommy Lee Robbins, right? Tommy Lee Robbins was in third. Tommy Lee Robbins was in third, and James Harris. Okay, I might have to go to my picture on this one now. Oh, that's White. Brian White. My bad, B White. Brian White, better known as B White. I want to say that is that Lance Washington, Hank? Lance Washington? I'm saying the first name right because I'm looking at my table. I wrote down last name, and I don't want to waste too much time. Brian White, Washington. Lance, if that's Lance Washington, let me know. And Tommy Lee Robbins. All right, I see Hank messaging me. All right. Well, Hank messaging me on YouTube, podcast, and Facebook. All right, I'm gonna do kick returns and pump as well. Thank you, Garrett. I might as well since I did it. But as I was saying, Brian White, James Harris, and I want to say that's Lance Washington. Thank you, Hank. I see you. Lance Washington, Brian White, Lance Washington, and James Harris. They were tied for fourth place. All right, guys, and that is the offense side. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish with the special teams. Kick return. A kick return. The top fighting Wildcat listed is Fred Smith, followed by Russell Bickham. Right, Ryan Rome. See, again, that's a name that wasn't nominated. And his name probably wasn't nominated again because I know a lot of all the Fight Wildcats was not on here. But those who voted, unfortunately, didn't nominate him. So nothing against him, but now his name has been mentioned, and we're gonna make sure to. I'm glad that someone mentioned his name right now. So I appreciate that. Ryan Rome is someone who was, I guess he was worthy of being nominated for a kicker. Okay, for a kicker. I thought it was tight end for a kicker. But kick return is Fred Smith, followed by Russell Bickham. In second and third was Edwin Reed. And what I didn't post on the official list, I just the top three, but tied for fourth place. Tied for fourth place was Ed Reed and yours truly, Damon Mason. We were tied for fourth place on kick return. All right. So, and let's go to punt return. I'm going to do our returns first. All right, punt return. The top fighting Wildcat for punt return is once again Fred Smith. All right, this time in second place was followed by, with Damaris Johnson. In third place was Ed Reed. And those were the top three that was listed when I made the post. But in fourth place was Craig Eugene. Craig Eugene, who we call Joe Bean. So that was Fred Smith, Damaris Johnson, Ed Reed, and in fourth place, not listed on the official list, was Craig Eugene, Joe Bean. All right, the top punter award went to Mike Skyfreeze. There's always a side freeze. Put a 1 or 2. If it's sky freeze, put a 1. If it's side freeze, put a 2. I hope I'm saying the name right. All right, but Mike Sky Freeze was number 1. Followed behind, is that Ryan Whitfield? Because I don't have the first name written down. I have Whitfield in second place. And not listed, I remember only listing 2. But third was, is that J. Cole? J. Cole was nominated. And so really, I should have had 1, 2, and 3. I just went with 2 since it was a punter. But first, the top punter was Sky Freeze, 2 was Whitfield, and the third one was J. Cole. For those who I remember someone mentioning J. Cole and say he should have been nominated. Well, he was nominated, and he was the third punter. I just didn't. When I listed was 2. In place kicker, once again is Mike Sky Freeze or Sky Freeze. Second place went to George Perez. George Perez. And to me, George Perez was like Martin Anderson in my era. Followed by followed by Jake Cole. So it's Jake Cole, not J. Cole. Jake Cole was in third place for place kicker. Followed closely by my kicker, Jose Perez. All right, so that's Sky Freeze was number 1. George Perez number 2. Jake Cole number 3. And Jose Perez was number 4. And thank you, man. Greg. Only Greg put a 2. Greg, I'm going to get you to be a host next time, man, because you're on top of everything with me, brother. I appreciate that. Now, what's funny is I forgot what 2 was. I don't know if 2 was Sky Freeze or Side Freeze or whatever I said. But thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. And guys, I think you said my man. He said, I got you, homie. Appreciate that. And guys, that's about it. And we are at the 52-minute mark, which means I have a lot of room. I know I see Hank put something on Facebook again. No, that was old Hank. Thank you. And guys, that's it. So I'm gonna come back to YouTube and close this out. Again, I appreciate this, man. Now I can move forward. Probably start tomorrow. I will post the defensive list. And before I post it, I'm gonna double check because I know I added several individuals, to the list who had the opportunity to vote. So I'm gonna make sure I tally up those votes accordingly and correctly, and then I will post it. And again, man, it's I don't know I was about to say my little brother, but my little big brother, he always been bigger than me once we got to high school. Derwin Millie, if he's on here now, so man, I know my little brother Rudy Sanchez was on here, so I thank all my Wildcat brothers who got on tonight and chimed in. Greg, Rudy did speak up. Josh Victoria, of course, my normal co-host Hank Leeboy was on here, even though he's on call. And any other fight Wildcat who watched this on YouTube, who listened to it on a podcast, or who's watching or listening to the recording, hey man, we are fighting Wildcats, and this it was just an opportunity for me to do something, for a program that did a lot for me and continues to do a lot for me. Everything you guys say is correct, man. There's so much talent at our high school. that then came through our high school. That's currently at our high school. But truth be told, guys, there's so much talent in the River Parish, and that's why I mentioned to you guys all the ideas I have planned. You know, there's always a bigger picture. You know, there are some people, which I won't say no name, and they know who they are, and there's no pun intended, but this is how I feel. We have always been the standard. You know, people trying to catch us. Even if they're not trying to catch us, they're trying to catch us because there was a certain way of doing things, and that was called a fighting wildcat way. Times have changed, but that expectation is still there. You know, and that's why I was so glad to have people like Elvin Robinson. I hope I'm saying his name right. Elvin Robinson, Donnie Nash, speak up on behalf of their era. Of course, we have Coach Fronto, who I spoke to before I initially did this along with Hank and Murdoch. You know, and those two gentlemen have a ton of history. Then Mike Robbins, he have a ton of knowledge because in Russell Bickham being from St. Rose, you guys, that's what I mean by you guys, by tradition, we're meant to be fighting wildcats. I had to learn how to become a wildcat when I transferred from East St. John, from St. John Parish to St. Charles Parish. In the history that you guys, some of you guys were able to see, and some of you guys have heard about because many of the greats are your family members. You know, it's amazing, and that's what the biggest picture is for me. You know that I appreciate my time as a fighting wildcat while I was there, and now that I'm a like my there, like my there will say, tradition never graduates. You know that's why I say I can't say former wildcat now. Once a fighting wildcat, always a fighting wildcat. Was I saying wildcats and not fighting wildcats? If I was saying wildcats and not fighting wildcats, man, I'm gonna give myself an out. I think y'all get the point, man. It's a bigger picture. It's a bigger picture, and it starts with the fighting wildcats. We have always been this thing. And even Coach Simon tried to tell me something earlier today, and he said, "Damon, you might disagree." And I said, "Coach, yes, I will disagree with you, and I won't argue with you, but I will say it on the show tonight because I told him I was going live tonight." And I thank Albert Robinson for sharing that. The fighting Wildcats started with Coach Simon for a lot of different reasons, but I won't share tonight. But Hank, he gave me that information how things were back then, and why he decided to change a lot of things up, especially the name. That yes, at one time it was Bethlehem Wildcats. Coach Chipper Simon decided, you know what? One of the changes we are going to make is going to be with our name. And there's a reason behind that, guys. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you, or maybe even I look forward to letting him share the history of the Fighting Wildcats. So my brothers, my Fighting Wildcat brothers, man, hey, I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all done each era done an awesome job, guys, and I just look forward to learning more about each and every one of you guys' era, and you guys who I don't know, and even those who I do know, man. It's an opportunity for us to bond in a way that we never bound before. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind, bro. Keep that in mind, man. And remember, we are the standard. We are the standard, but we all fight Wildcats, and we all represent the River Parish because all of us are men now, and I'm sure, like myself, as men, we all want to see these kids in up and down the River Parish on the East Bank and West Bank. We want to see them have the same opportunity that many of us had, or the opportunity that many of us didn't have, and surpass that because that's where my goal is. And everything that I say, everything that I do, not only represents my family, it doesn't only represent who I am and the family that I have now, my immediate, my own family, but it represents the fighting Wildcats. Because that's the thing that my parents fell in love with when I first went to Desperate High School. And my head coach, Coach Chipper Simon, Coach Simon gave me that fighting Wildcat contract. And I gave it to my mother. And the first thing she read was rule number one, God comes first. Rule number two, family. Number three, the team. Truth be told, after she read number one, God first, that was a wrap. I remember the rest, but when she said God first, she said, "Oh, this is a place for you. This is a place for you." So there are many reasons why you cannot say Wildcats around me. You gotta say Fighting Wildcats. I correct anyone who don't say Fighting Wildcats. Guys, enough of that. Hey man, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me get back to podcast and see anybody saying anything. Thank y'all for those of you on the podcast. Follow me, guys. I appreciate it. I love it. YouTube, if you ever hit the subscribe button, guys, hey, everything is free. It helps out my show, guys. There's a lot of elevation having people follow me. I really appreciate it. Like it, follow the podcast, share it, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I appreciate it. And until next time, guys, be blessed and stay safe. All right, and look forward to the first post tomorrow for the Fighting Wildcat defense. Again, man, hey, I appreciate it. Y'all have a great night. All right, as always, be safe and peace.